Greetings to all. I am Saroja from Chemistry Department. Uh, this is Unit 1 Chemistry for your as a part of your curriculum, which carries 4 credits, which is nothing but called as chemistry. So chemistry has 5 units. The first unit is atomic and molecular structure. What is an atomic orbital? Atomic orbitals are defined as the three-dimensional region or space around the nucleus where there is higher, or simply you can say maximum probability of finding an electron of specific energy. Knowledge of the exact order in which atomic orbitals are occupied is based upon the interpretation of atomic spectra in terms of how spectral lines result from permitted electronic transitions. Right? So you know, in case of electron transitions, some of them are permitted, some of them are forbidden. So only few of them are permitted. So that itself, it gives idea about this atomic orbitals. So in order to have a view or idea about atomic orbitals, please look at this diagram. Right? So here, if you see this, there are 3 Cartesian coordinates, x, y and z axis at an angle theta. Right? So simply you are going to call it as r. This is the r. R square is equal to x square plus y square plus z square, where x has r sin theta cos phi, y is equal to r sin theta sin phi, z is equal to r cos theta. All these things we have come across from the Schrodinger wave equation. So Schrodinger derived all these Cartesian coordinates. Students, you have studied very much elaboratedly in intermediate. So here directly we are going to use this equation. So what is Schrodinger equations? Which is a summation of all the 3 coordinates, dou square psi by dou x square plus dou square psi by dou y square plus dou square psi by dou z square plus 8 pi square m by h square into e minus v of psi is equal to 0. What is psi and what is psi square? So psi is nothing but a wave function. So psi square is nothing but the maximum probability of finding the electron. Right? So this equation can be solved by transforming the specific coordinates r, theta and phi. Instead of x, y, z, if you replace with r, theta and phi, this is the equation which you are going to get. So students, please read this equation. So simply dou square psi by dou x square here, right? So psi is okay, x, r sin theta cos phi here. If you replace and overall, if you make it simplified form, this equation turns up into like this. So the solutions of Schrodinger wave equation obtained in terms of expressions for r, theta and phi are acceptable solutions only if they follow some restrictions of NLM. What are these NLM? You are aware of quantum numbers, right? There are 4 quantum numbers. N is principal quantum number, which have values 1, 2, 3, etc. Next one is azimuthal quantum number L, 0, 1, 2, etc., which lies up to n minus 1. So it means 1 less than that of principal quantum number. The third one is magnetic quantum number M. It has values minus to plus. So minus L to plus L. Next. The fourth one is spin quantum number, which has only 2 plus half and minus a half. The quantum mechanical approach helps us to calculate the value of psi for an electron of known values of NLM. Why should you learn all these quantum numbers in order to calculate the value of psi and psi square. What is psi? Just now only have explained. Psi is wave function. Psi square is the maximum probability of finding an electron at a point. So depending upon these values, the orbitals of electrons are given. Correct? So these are some examples for L is equal to 0 s orbital. So electrons are in s orbital. Like if L is equal to 1, p orbital, L is equal to 2, d, and L is equal to 3, f orbital. Correct? Like this, you can do simple calculations by giving various values. So which orbital does the electrons will fall? Whether it is 2s, 2p, 3d, 4s, or whatever it may be. Based upon the quantum numbers only, we are going to predict where the electrons will fall into these orbitals. Next, shapes of orbitals. So students, you are aware that there are these are very much famous and well known, which you have studied from 10th class onwards. So S, P, D, and F. These are the orbitals. Each orbital has a specific shape. Right? So coming to the first one, shape of S orbital. So for this, L is equal to 0, M is equal to 0. So it means it has only one geometry. So S orbital has symmetrical geometry in all directions. So it is spherical in shape. Right? So here if you see, this is 1s orbital, this is 2s orbital. Even you go 3s, 4s, 5s, 6s, whatever it may be, all s orbitals are spherical in shape. Orbital has no radical node. 2s orbital has 1 and 3s orbital has 2 radical nodes. If you see 1s orbital, it has no radical node, right? So 2s, it has 1. If it is 3s, it has 2 nodes. It means 1 minus n minus 1, simply you can say 1 less than that one. Next, shape of p orbitals. So s orbital is spherical. P orbital, it is dumbbell shape. So how many types of p orbitals exist? According to their Cartesian coordinates. If it is along x-axis, along y-axis, along z-axis. So they are termed as px, py, and pz. So why here it has mentioned that it is 2px, 2py, and 2pz. So because p orbitals falls in the second order. If you see the shells, K, L, M, and shells, right? So p orbital falls in the second shell, and the second shell, unless the electrons get filled in the s orbital, it does not occupy the p orbitals. So hence 2p comes after 2s only. In this also the arrangement comes 2px first, 2py second, and 2pz third. These are the shapes of the p orbitals. Next, shape of d orbital. So these are the 5 shapes of d orbitals. D orbitals are double dumbbell in shape. S orbitals are spherical, p orbitals are dumbbell, d orbitals are double dumbbell in shape. Right? So here if you go to the axis, let us come from the right to the left. Right? So students, here DYZ, because see whatever the marked one, the filled one orbitals, they lie along YZ axis. The second, they lie along XZ axis. Next XY. So all these three consist of equal energy. dxy, dyz, and dzx. They consist of equal energy. Here dx square minus y square and dz square. They lie dz square, it is symmetrical about, particularly about z axis. Dx square minus y square, they will lie in between this x and y. If you see here along the axis, here x square minus y square, they lie in between the axis. So overall d orbitals are double. They have 5 shapes. The 5 are dx by dy z dzx and dx square minus y square comma dz square. Yes. Next. Coming to the molecular orbital. So what is a molecular orbital? Molecular orbital is a region around the nuclei of bonded atoms in a molecule where the probability of finding an electron is maximum. So here let us have a glance over the differences between atomic and molecular orbitals. Atomic orbitals, they belong to one specific atom. As you know, orbitals which are comprised because of atoms, they are atomic orbitals. So hence obviously they belong to one specific atom. Whereas in case of molecular orbital, a group of atoms, a number of atoms combined together to form a molecule. Next, there are internal characteristics of an atom. So because it is purely relates to atom, whatever we are dealing in this scenario, all they will relate to atoms only. Whereas in case of molecular orbitals, they comprises of molecule only. Molecule is nothing but a group or combination of atoms. So they are internal characteristics of an atom. Here they result when atomic orbitals of similar energies combine. They have simple shapes of geometry. They have complex shapes. So what are the shapes? Just now only have explained. They are S, P, D. S is spherical, P is dumbbell, D is double dumbbell, F is complex. Various molecular orbitals are named as sigma, pi, delta, tau, etc. The stabilities of these orbitals are less than bonding and more than anti-bonding orbitals. Here, the stabilities of these orbitals, they may be either more or less than that of the atomic orbitals, depending upon the pairing or combination of their atoms and their energy levels. So sometimes they will be less, sometimes they will be more. Atomic orbital is monocentric because it relates to atom only. So obviously it is monocentric. Whereas here molecular, it consists of many atoms, group of atoms, at least 2 atoms combined together to form a molecule. Hence it is polycentric, right? So let us have a glance or why it is necessary to study this Schrodinger equation, or why should you find out this psi wave function or psi square, which is called as probability of finding the electron. So in order to know about all these facts, why these inventions are made, so we are supposed to learn little bit about quantum mechanics, right? So quantum mechanics is a branch of science which takes into consideration, so here de Broglie concept of dual nature of matter. What is de Broglie's concept? It behaves both like a particle nature and wave nature, hence it is called as dual nature. Next, Planck's quantum theory, E is equal to h mu, which is able to explain the phenomena related to small particles, is known as quantum mechanics. What about classical mechanics? Just here we will have the differences among them. Classical mechanics, which are going to deals with macroscopic means very large particles. Quantum deals with smaller microscopic particles. These are based on Newton's law of motion, based on Heisenberg's uncertainty principle, as well as de Broglie's that particle nature. It has both wave nature as well as particle nature. Matter, it has both wave nature as well as particle nature. That is called de Broglie's dual nature of matter. Next, here Maxwell's electromagnetic wave, according to which an amount of energy may be emitted or absorbed continuously. That is, this theory was proposed by Maxwell, hence it is Maxwell's electromagnetic wave. Next one is Planck's quantum theory. Only discrete values of energy are emitted or absorbed. The last one, the state of the system is defined by specifying all the forces acting on the particles as well as their positions and velocities. So here, whereas in case of quantum mechanics, it gives probabilities of finding particles at various locations in space. So see, in order to remember you very simplicity form, classical mechanics deals with Newton's laws, which are concerned with larger objects. Here they are concerned with Heisenberg's uncertainty and de Broglie's nature, which are concerned with smaller particles. So hence nowadays we are using quantum mechanics rather than that of classical mechanics, right? So in the next video lecture we are going to learn about molecular orbital theory, which is called as MO theory. Thank you, students. So let us meet in the next video.